Last interview here off the floor today. Last but not the least, I should say, I'm with Dr. Pieter Mulder, who is the leader of the Freedom Front Plus. Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. Remember, we're on the top of the ballot paper, so you mustn't confuse the words last. Nothing about last year.
Yeah, that's right. I see you at the top of the leaderboard as well. Fortunately, not in the first position, but you must be very happy with your performance, considering what's happened during this election.
Yeah. Well, I think I would like to thank my voters. They're very loyal voters. We improved our support from the previous election. We're going to gain some seats. If you look at the calculations in the end, and that's positive because there was a very bad, hard propaganda onslaught on them not to vote Freedom Front Plus, not on our policy, not on the DA's policy, but just on arguments about the big party, small party, and it's a very unfair type of strategy, but it seems it worked. And with all those pressure on them, they still voted Freedom Front Plus and made us bigger and stronger, understanding maybe the system, that there ought to be some interest parties. It's important to get those interests on the table in Parliament, and they voted for us, and we're going to do that and continue the fight in there.
You've had a very good showing in Gauteng. If I look at the board just above us, you must be very happy that you're showing up so well in one of the major metros in the country.
You know, there is some perception that the Freedom Front Plus is an agricultural party. That's just not true. You know, there's about 37,000 commercial farmers. That's not one seat if you look at the numbers. This is all a number game. If you don't get seats in the Western Cape, in Gauteng and those areas, you're out. And we succeeded to convince those voters that it's important that what we call minority issues, Afrikaans, affirmative action, those fights must continue, and they fought for us and say go in there and do it.
Now the focus changes a little bit. Coalition marriages are top of the agenda from here on forward, and those discussions will continue for the next couple of weeks. What are your views on that? And I'm sure you've been approached already by some of those that want to start these conversations.
Well, I think the next election, it will be more important than this one. The ANC still got a very big majority, unluckily. I don't think it's good for the country. And in most of the provinces as well. The whole coalition thing becomes very important once the ANC gets under 50%. And then Freedom Front policy is, then surely we'll help the opposition parties to negotiate a coalition and keep them in opposition, we think is well. And we've been propagating this for the last 10, 15 years. At the moment, people understand how coalitions work. This stupid argument about small party, big party, that's a lot of people are convinced will go away, and people vote for their interest and for their policies.
Finally, I want to talk about your constituency and some of the reasons what you would think why you've showed up so well and improved a little bit. Do you think the land issue was a key issue for your constituency in the last couple of weeks, months running into this election?
It did play a role. I don't think it played that big role. The reality is, as parties get bigger, whether it's the ANC, whether it's the DA, specific interest cannot be serviced by them. Issue like minority rights, something like affirmative action. The DA, as it goes for the bigger market, must address that market that is for affirmative action. A lot of my supporters, brown and white, are against affirmative action and hope for us to continue that. So as parties get bigger, we'll also get bigger actually as people understand. We can carry the interest into the big party, cannot do that.
Dr. Mulder, thank you for joining us. One of the few parties that will be having a big celebration this weekend, I would think.
Well, we'll have one, yeah. We'll have fun, but you always want more. We want more for the next one.
Thank you. That's Dr. Pieter Mulder giving us his views after, well, we're 5 percentage points away from the final results. We expect those a little bit later today.